Good morning, everyone. First, I'd like to thank Lacey for that wonderful sermon this morning. Said everything that needed to be said, I think, mostly about Stewardship Sunday. I would like to say one thing that I miss is the kind of community ritual that we normally do on a Stewardship Sunday, where we either together, as the plate comes around, put in our pledge and our time and talent survey, or in some cases, in some years, we've gone together to the front where there's a basket to collect them. And so it's a community operation, even though each of us is making our individual pledge. And hopefully with that in mind, if you haven't done your pledge yet, and I think about 20 people have so far, this afternoon, you will go onto our web portal, which is the easiest way to pledge here, and just go ahead and make your pledge. As I worked on my pledge this year, I realized that looking ahead to 2021, that I can't really remember, except for a couple of times in my life when I've had that much uncertainty about what the future will bring. One of them was in right after September 11, 2001. At the time I worked at EPA, directly across the river from the Pentagon, which was of course, hit by one of those planes. In my office, I was responsible for some field operations. I had people scattered all around the country who didn't know if they could get back. And Ann and I had to handle our mail with gloves, just like we do things now, because of the anthrax scare. And who knew what was going to happen then. That was a big time of uncertainty. That and when I was drafted in 1969 to go to Vietnam, those are probably the other two times besides right now where I didn't know what the future would bring, and it was difficult to plan, to think ahead. But as I made my pledge, I had to remember why we were pledging. Why we were pledging is because God is so generous to us, and he loves us, and he takes care of us. And this is our opportunity to try to further his work on earth through the church. And remember that the money that we pledge to the church, some large part of it goes to the church operations for salaries, for keeping up our aging physical plant, which keeps needing repairs and painting and that sort of thing. But it also, there's another part of it that we're actually giving back to the community through the Community Outreach Committee and through the Due Justice Committee as well. And the reason we sort of need your pledges soon, as you possibly can, is so we can plan. We need to know, do we have enough money to do all of these things that we need to do next year? Do we need to try and ask you for more money? Some of our expenses are down as we're not meeting in the church, but most of our expenses still are maintained. And we no longer have the income from our rentals, which was quite a substantial income for us. And we had very little auction income this year. Hopefully next year we'll be able to have a big auction fundraiser and maybe other fundraisers. So I guess my main thing I have to say to you is, you know you're going to pledge. You always do. Would you please try and get it in to us as soon as you can? It would help us with planning for next year. Thank you.